time. Finding a way to win, I think, is important for this team, and we look forward now to hopefully getting our team back together and going out and try to avenge a loss that we had to Maryland at home. So it'll be hopefully a good week. We only have that game on Saturday.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go straight to questions, please, Darla.
If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Your first question comes from the line of Don Marcus with the Baltimore Sun.
Yeah, Tom, I don't know how much you've done looking at the tape from the first game against Maryland, but how much different is your team now with a couple of the wins you've had than they were when they played, Terps up there?
Well, I think we're getting a little healthier with a couple guys, and that was Dawson's first game back after 2.5 weeks out. We've had a few issues with Valentine's been a guy that just had this lingering illness, and it's been over 2 weeks now. But I think we're a lot better than we were. I think neither team could make a shot that day, and us more than them. But I think between the two of us, we set basketball back a few years. One shot 32 and one shot 33%. So I hope we're better. I think we're better, but I'm sure they're better also.
And just to follow up, what has Maryland and Rutgers brought to the league so far this year?
Well, if you look at it recently, Maryland has been leading the league right there, and Rutgers had the biggest upset of the league. So I'd say they brought a lot to the league. There's no doubt both coaches have done a great job. Every game's been competitive, and Maryland's won more than its share, but Rutgers has had a couple of big wins too, and I'm anxious to get out there. I know it's a great place to play in and everything, and so I think they've been, as our commissioner stated earlier, I think they've been a great addition to the league and very, very competitive on the basketball side.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Your next question comes from the line of Kyle Austin with MLive.com.
Hey, Tom, just wanted to clarify something yesterday. Are you pretty set on making some sort of change to the starting lineup throughout this week of practice?
Yeah, I'm never set on anything with starting lineups. Last year they were revolving like a good door, but I think we need to get a rotation down. That is what I'm really set on. It's not the easiest thing, but I definitely need to get a rotation down, and I think if we get everybody back, and we don't have them back yet, both Ellis and more importantly, right now, Bess has not been able to practice. He's practiced more in the last week, but make up for what he didn't have for those 7 weeks. And I'm looking at it. I'm working on it. It's going to happen. I don't know how fast it's going to happen.
Thanks.
Your next question comes from the line of Jonathan Schott with Spartan Nation.
Coach, I believe you guys are 5th in three-point field goal percentage at this time and 102nd in attempts. When you've got a really good three-point shooting team, how do you avoid trending to become one of those that ends up living and dying just by the three?
Well, that's a great question, and I think for a while we were doing that, and we took too many threes. But you try to, number one, just let them come to you, I think is the biggest key. We're not out there searching for threes. We're not out there trying to just take threes. In fact, one of our points of emphasis, we got to get the ball inside. But, last time against Maryland, we took 22 of them, which was too many for what we needed to do, and we only made 5. So I think you can get caught up in that, especially if you're shooting it pretty good. And I think we should shoot them pretty good, but come up with a number. What that number is probably not in the lower to mid-20s, but it's probably above 15 too. So we're not that far off. And I think one thing we're doing in general is, we got some balance. It's been inconsistent balance. I think right now we're probably taking somewhere around 18, 19 threes a game. I don't have it right in front of me, but if you can shoot 40-some% or 42% or what we were shooting early, 44. That's phenomenal. But I don't think you should ever live and die, because if you look at early in the year, we were a little bit, and we were never getting to the free throw line. Now we're doing a much better job getting there. We're even making a few more, and I think that's critical too. And in this game, you look at Maryland's probably the exact opposite. They get to the free throw line more than anybody. I don't know what they are, but they're going to be in the top 5 in the country. And so that's what we're trying to find that balance.
And Coach, I missed this call last week. Can you recap your emotions as you watched the Cotton Bowl Spark football, and what about Connor Cook's ability to bounce back and really race his game when it absolutely matters most?
Well, I thought he did a phenomenal job. I thought our receivers were really good, but maybe the unsung hero was our offensive line. And if I think back to that game, I'm so excited, proud, happy for the Big Ten, number one. Not number one. That's probably number 2. I'm happy for Mark Antonio and Michigan State won. But I'm proud of the job Mark has done. And, we did watch. We had practice right before the game. It was exciting. It was fun. It was a great way to come back, even though I'm sure he would have liked it a little different. But for the excitement part of it, I'd say it's one of the best I've seen in years and years and years of watching Michigan State football.
We've got time for one more question from the media, please, darling.
And your final question comes from the line of Zach Osterman with the Indianapolis Star. Zach, your line is open.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm doing a story, I guess, about the impact of just sort of social media on the day-to-day lives of college athletes. And I'm curious, it's sort of a two-part question, but, I mean, how much, in your mind, do you think programs need to educate players in terms of use and behavior of social media? And how often, is it more or less often maybe you find now that you have to sort of discipline players for maybe their just sort of overall persona on social media if they're posting something inappropriate or anything like that?
Well, I'd be very anxious to read your article, because I think you're going in the wrong direction for what I'm seeing. I'm not worried about what my guys post for the most part. I know some athletes do, but if you look at the big picture of how scrutinized it is, I don't see that many bad things. I'm more worried about what they read. That's what I think is corrupting our game, but our kids. That includes my own 2 at home. It's what they read that we can't control. What they post, you can somewhat control it. I've had very few problems. Once in a while I tell a kid, hey, you should be careful on this or that. But I think in general, when you think of all the tweets out there, there's probably not that many that are ridiculous. A couple of knuckleheads would do something, but your article, you're writing the article. My biggest fear, and for my own kids and is this ridiculous thought that it doesn't affect kids and what they read. They're spending 4, 5, 6 hours a day on the thing, and you're talking to the wrong guy, because I'm kind of an anti-social media guy, just because I think it's really hurting our kids, and it's hurting them on what they read, not what they tweet. So that kind of ruins your deal. I'm sorry.
No. It's great. Thank you.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning. We'll talk to you